What is going on, guys? JT43 here, and in this video I'm going to be putting on my front StopTech drilled rotors. Just for a quick explanation, the only reason I'm doing my front rotors over is because I was hitting some twisties and I cooked the shit out of my brakes, like pretty bad. When I was done with it all, they were smoking. They didn't catch on fire obviously, but they were smoking pretty bad, and like stupidly, I did it like 3 more times, so they're just completely cooked. They make this really weird pause noise whenever I hit the brakes now, so I'm just gonna replace them. I'm not sponsored by StopTech or anything. I wish I was, because that would be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna put on my new front rotors. These are my old ones, like the old ones from TRQ. The new ones, they're even nicer than this, and this is drilled and slotted rotors. So let's go take a look at the StopTechs. All right, so here they are, fresh out of the box. Cool packaging. High performance brake rotor. That's a little bit cringe, but here they are. So they have the black. I mean, you'll see them when I actually put them on the car better, but they have the black instead of just a normal silver or gray. And so I only went with drilled because that's all they really had. And the TRQs, they kind of bent really quick, I'm not gonna lie, or warped really quick. I had a really bad shake. I did the front axle, the front CV axle. If you didn't watch that series, go check it out. It's actually pretty informative if you have to do it yourself. But another issue was these rotors. So it was a mixture of my axle and my rotors that were giving me this violent ass shake. Oh, yo, look at this. Look at that. I look like a fucking cartoon character. So we're gonna put these on this guy. I'm gonna start off by jacking up the car and taking my wheel off. It's always a good idea to loosen up your lug nuts before you lift it up in the air. It's just kind of something I've learned. So I'm gonna loosen these guys up and then jack it up. All right, and so now with those out of the way and loosened up, I can now jack my car up. Now that I have it lifted off the ground, I'm gonna start off on this side actually. I always like to put a wheel, I'll take one of my stock wheels and I'll just throw it underneath. Just for safety measures. You know, you could use a jack stand too, but I don't know, with the pinch welds and all that. But yeah, this is now up off the ground. I can now completely take this wheel off. All right, so now that I have all these loose, I'll go ahead and take these guys off one by one. All right, so now that I have all the lugs off, I can go ahead and pull my wheel off and set it to the side. So here are the old brakes, and it's hard to see on camera, but you can see a little bit of the burning color, meaning that, yeah, these are kind of cooked. You can even see right here, there's this little arrow kind of design. So yeah, these brakes are very much cooked. My pads, I'm probably gonna keep the pads because you know, those might be cooked as well, but I'd rather have a new rotor than new pads. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna be doing the rotor today. So I believe it is 2 17 millimeters. So the way that I'm gonna do this is I'm just gonna take it off as one assembly. I'm not gonna take the caliper and disconnect it from the bracket. I'm just gonna take the caliper and the bracket off as one. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to take off my spacer. I made a video on these. I do have a 20 millimeter spacer. I got it at kspperformance.com, which has its own lug studs. So here are my factory studs, and here are my extended studs that came with the spacer. So the trick to doing these, right, because if you were to just put a socket on here and spin it, try to loosen it, the rotor would kind of just spin, right? And so what you could do is you can have somebody sit in the car, press on the brake, or you can, you know, do the breaker bar brake method. But what I like to do is I like to take a little 1/4 inch socket, pop it into the rotor, turn it to where it's making contact with the caliper so it doesn't spin anymore, and then I loosen it that way. So now I'll grab, these are 18s, or I think they're 19s or 18s, I don't remember. I just grab a 19 inch or a 19 millimeter socket, and I'll just loosen these up. All right, so now that my spacer is loosened, I should be able to just pull it off like that. And yeah, it's literally just a spacer. So now we have to take the caliper off. So I'll take my socket back out. Now it's just getting the actual caliper off. So what I'm gonna do is you come back here, and there's gonna be 2 bolts. There is going to be, let's see, there's going to be one right here. If my camera will focus. There's one right here, which is a 17 millimeter. And then there's also one down here. So there's one up top and then one down here. And you're just gonna take both of these guys out. It's a little hard to record and show because I do have to get up in here, so putting a camera here, it's not gonna see anything. So I'll let you know when I have those 2 bolts out. All right, so I got those 2 bolts out, and I got my caliper resting over to the side there. And now this should be able to just come off, just like that, yep. Didn't even put up a fight. And you can see that brand new hub that I put on in that video too, that full suspension rebuild. So these rotors are still good. They're just not really what I need. If you're wondering what brands these are Duralast. They are AutoZone rotors. But anyway, this is all exposed. Let's go clean and get to see what those new rotors look like. All right, so I got some brake cleaner that my friend left here, so we're gonna use all of that. And I have a dirty microfiber. I shouldn't be using a microfiber, but you gotta make sure you get all this oil off because they come, you know, from the factory with oil on them. So let's go ahead and take the packaging out. Dude, this looks nice, man. This is what premium packaging looks like, bruv. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll go ahead. You can actually see some of the oil right here. So I'll go ahead, spray this guy down. And you want to spray it good, bro, because if you don't spray this shit good enough, you don't get all that oil off, you're gonna scare the shit out of yourself the first time you drive it. I did that a couple times where I didn't spray it down good enough or wipe it down good enough. And when I was, you know, obviously driving it and testing it out, my whole rotor actually started smoking because it was like burning the oil off. You definitely want to make sure that you get a lot of the shit off, front and back. All right, so what we'll do is we will take this and put it on the car. Just like that. Slide that bad boy on. Oh, that's gonna look real nice. Okay, so now what I'll do to match everything up is I'll take one of my lug nuts and I'll bottom it out so that the rotor stays straight. Perfect. And now I'll swing my caliper around, put it back on, and then we'll reassemble. Look at that, man. The new caliper slides right on. Oh, that's amazing. So I'll put these 2 bolts back in, the 2 17mm. I have to pick the camera up when I got it in. Okay, caliper is on. Let me take my lug nut back off and then I can put my spacer back on. So I got my spacer here. We'll go ahead and put this guy on, just like that. Then I'll start grabbing the lug nuts and I'll start putting these guys on. All right, and now that I have my spacer on, I can go ahead and throw my wheel on. All right, so we'll just go ahead and lift it up and just place it on like that. Perfect. And now I will put my lug nuts in, or on, and we will see what the final product looks like. All right, and now with the wheel completely on, not tightened obviously because it's still off the ground, I gotta do the other side, but that looks really nice, man. With the TRD and everything, that looks really fucking good, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like the black accents and shit. I don't know if that's gonna stay. It should stay, but if it peels, I mean, that's all right too. I was used to my TRQs, but nah, it looks really nice. And once again, that one's drilled and slotted, but I think just drilled looks really nice. You know, you don't really have to go with the slotted, even though it might be more beneficial, but yeah, that looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and then we're gonna go drive this thing. All right, I just installed the other side, and it looks really good. I like that. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, I'm gonna drive to a friend's house and see how they do. If I die, I die. Peace out. If I don't, more videos in the future. Yeah, so I'm gonna be doing a little bit of driving POV. I got my GoPro mounted up here, which I don't know if that's the best spot, but I do have an older GoPro where I can't really tell what I'm looking at, so I'll just have to kind of guess and Hope that the footage looks good. I always wanted to do POV drives for a while, especially with some of the stuff that I have installed on this car, but I never really found a way to do it, but now I do. I'm literally wedging this shit on top of my sun visor. Hopefully the picture is good, and hopefully we can get some cool driving clips. All right, so I wanted to try something a little bit different. Actually using my old GoPro, because I wanted to try and do some driving POV videos. I recently just started driving into the mountains and started doing toge. I figured I'd find some type of way to record while I was driving without holding my phone up, because that's very annoying and phone mounts are really shaky. Hopefully the GoPro is not really shaking that much. The car is very stiff, so it's gonna shake regardless. But yeah, I wanted to kind of just go for a drive and just in real time feel how these rotors feel. I drove to Jersey for all this. Coming up, put a STI wing on it. Feels really responsive. With the Duralast, it was kind of like sluggish. Like, I feel like I was able to put my pedal more to the floor and it would engage. So the engagement is a lot better with this one, meaning that when I press my foot on the pedal, it engages faster than those shitty Duralasts, and I honestly think more than the TRQs too. Let's see here, I'm gonna hit this corner. Let's see how well this handles. Yeah, the engagement is really good. Like I said, my car is really stiff, so I do apologize if the GoPro is shaking like crazy. You can definitely feel the difference with these StopTechs. Happy with them. They feel a lot better. It makes the car feel like I can take corners a little bit heavier now. I'm not doing that right now, but it feels like it would be okay up in the twisties and stuff, you know? And like, I'm sure they're gonna get hot, but I don't know about every session, you know, when I park the car at like a stop, you know, they're smoking and I gotta let it cool down for like at least an hour. I don't think I'll have that issue with these rotors, hopefully not. I mean, that will be the real test, but obviously I'm not going to do that today, or maybe I will, I don't know, but yeah, they feel really nice, man. They feel way better than the Duralast. They feel a lot better than the TRQs. I'm definitely happy with the StopTechs. I definitely think if you're in the market for some nicer brakes, running an OEM caliper setup, I think the StopTechs are going to be your pick.